Joining me right now is Missouri Congressman, House Budget Committee Ranking Member Jason Smith. Congressman, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here. I want to walk through the budget and get your take on the priorities out of this administration. But first, let me get your take on what you just heard. It's almost like Biden is bullying Senators Sinema and Manchin because he wants their support on his package, and it doesn't seem like he has their support on this massive spending and taxes. What do you know about this? Where are we on the negotiations? Does he have the support from Democrats to push this through reconciliation?
I'll tell you, Maria, it's great to be with you. President Biden has the support of Republicans and Democrats to pass a bipartisan infrastructure package that actually focuses on roads and bridges and airports and locks and dams. What he does not have support in is pushing through a progressive wish list items that wants to increase taxes higher than that of communist China. And that is why he is having issues with Manchin and Sinema, is because they believe in making sure our country has low taxes, reasonable taxes, and actually infrastructure instead of just funding his left's progressive wish list, which Biden would like to just immediately push through.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've seen this movie before. During the Obama administration, when we were at a 35% corporate rate and Ireland was at a 9% corporate rate, companies said, no problem, I'll acquire a company in Ireland and take my headquarters to Ireland. Done and done. I've got a 9% corporate rate. So I don't know why this administration doesn't see that. But you're the ranking member on the House Budget Committee. You note that the administration right now is not being transparent about the cost of the border crisis. I'm going to get to your recent visit in a moment. But walk through this budget and tell us about it. What you see as the administration's priorities. There's a good op-ed in the Journal this morning, Biden's slow growth budget gamble, where they're talking about this $6 trillion budget. The numbers are mind-boggling. Will end up standing at debt held by the public, a record 117% of GDP. What strikes you about the Biden budget?
You know, Maria, the Biden budget has a complete show of disrespect for working class families. You're talking about spending such an incredible amount of money. It's unforeseen, $69 trillion over 10 years. But not only spending the most ever within a budget proposed, the fact that it is actually proposing the most tax collections ever in the history of the country, $55 trillion. In fact, it will raise taxes on everyone and everything. President Biden campaigned that he will not raise taxes on low-income and middle-class families, but in fact, in this proposal, he does that, raising taxes on low income and the working class. When you look at just the debt alone, he wants to increase debt over $17 trillion over the next 10 years. Think about this. In the year 2031, just to pay interest on the debt is $914 billion. That's more money than what we currently spend on all of Medicare this year. It's also 10 times the amount of money we spend on veterans' health care. It's absolutely unacceptable. But it's all about funding his progressive wish list, helping reward friends, donors, and allies. It's unacceptable.
That is really unacceptable. Is he going to be able to push this through? I mean, Congressman, can you do anything to stop it? And by the way, the revenue raised in the budget, does that suggest he wants these tax increases to be retroactive?
He actually is proposing some of the tax rates to be retroactive. What's interesting, if you look into the details of the Biden budget, if you look at the GDP growth that you mentioned a little bit earlier in your show, the 2.2% in the first couple years and then 1.9% in the last 8, he's actually admitting that by increasing taxes, we're going to lower the GDP, because the 1.9% GDP in the last 8 years is the result of the increase in all the taxes that he has taken effect in the first couple years of his administration. And that should be quite alarming. When you look at the history of the last 75 years, GDP averaged 3%. But in his proposal, he's saying in the last 8, it will be 1.9% because he's going to be increasing taxes on all Americans. That is completely unacceptable.
That is unacceptable. It's incredible, actually, and no one else is talking about this. I haven't seen this story anywhere else. We're so grateful that you're here talking about it with us.